Okay, I've cut out my sweatshirt. I have sweatshirt on front and back and one layer of quilt batting. We are going to attempt to make a rug, and I am not sewing my rope. So let's see what happens. I want to make a square rug. Okay, so I'm to the corner now. And we're going to need to do a whole lot of scrunching. Let's see what happens. Might not even work, I don't know. But we got to get this nice and flat. Nice and flat, so scrunch it all up in there, flatten it out. Trying to keep this flat back here. I'm going to use my seam ripper. And we'll see what happens. I don't know. But I wanted to try it with no seam on the rope. I'll try to keep that nice and flat. A lot tougher to keep it lined up. All right, to the next corner. Scrunch that around. I think we're just going to have to work out these corners on the next round. I think. I pinned them hoping that would help, but I don't know. We'll see what the next round looks like. We can fix those corners. So I'm not sewing as I go. I'm not sewing my rope because I'm just curious to see how well it works. And so far, it don't look bad. So we got to scrunch all that up in there. Try to get this back here as flat as possible so the next round goes easier. I don't know. We'll see. So I am learning as I go. Thinking outside the box again. see. That came undone. I might have to rip that out and start over. I'm going to rip this back to where my rope came undone. That's the problem with not sewing the rope. You got too many things to have to look at one time. And I missed the rope there. There we go. Let's see. I think we got it. That corner didn't get too flat, but we'll work on that. Thinking outside of the box again. Did get my machine cleaned today and oiled. It is tricky if you don't sew the rope, but I think it'd be a lot more puffier when we don't sew the rope. Got a lot to look at there, a lot to keep track of. All right, we're back to our beginning corner. And I started at the top corner there. So we'll work around this corner here. Might not even work, ladies. No, I don't know. All right, now we gotta scrunch around that corner. And believe it or not, when I'm sitting here sewing by myself, I talk to myself like this all the time. Gotta keep myself in line. All right, let's see. Scrunch it in there. I don't know. Down. Get it all scrunched up in here. Try to get that as square as possible. Alright. I might have to sew down the first, or iron down the first round, but we're gonna see. I'm sure it'll get easier as we get bigger to get around the corners. Start scrunching so we can keep this flat. Got to be careful the rope coming undone. Get that scrunched up in there. She's giving fits. There we go. Don't be afraid to use your tools. I don't know. Looks pretty good. I'm winging it. If anybody doesn't know what that little green gadget is, that's the greatest thing made in mankind. Clover tool. Looks like we're going to have to stop every now and then and get lined back up, but I think it's going to work. Not sewing my rope. I seen somebody else do it. She made it look really easy, so I thought I'd give it a try. Share with you girls, boys. Yeah, that's definitely much easier. I think it'll get even better when we get bigger. Use that tool and scrunch that up in there. Try to keep that corner as flat as possible so I don't have to fight it on the next round. Okay, there we go. Third corner. Try and keep it flat as best as possible. I don't know. I think I kind of like it. I think it's going to work. All right. I'm going to try to go on, and if it turns out and I can keep going, I'll make a part 2.